What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here for another Tottenham update, and things are starting to move now in the transfer window. Even though the transfer window is not even open yet, but things are starting to move, and big signal of intent. Things are happening, which is great to see. And let's start off with Fraser Forster. As yesterday, the BBC claimed that Fraser Forster's Tottenham announcement will be soon. We haven't had an announcement yet, but Fabrizio Romano has given us the here we go this morning. It wasn't on his Twitter, but it must have been on his Twitch or his podcast or something like that.
It was on YouTube, yeah.
It was on YouTube, yeah. So it looks like the first deal of the summer is over the line.
Yeah, it looks like it's nearly upon us. The keeper who went a long way to stopping Arsenal getting in the Champions League is going to be part of our team next season. And look, I'm happy about it. It gives good Premier League experience. He's 34 years of age, so obviously it's a very short-term deal, but gets the homegrown quota up, allows us to maybe spend money in other areas as well. I'm sure he's not going to be too expensive. So look, in reality, if Lloris does get injured, I'm going to be a bit concerned because I don't know if Forster over a long stretch of time is going to be the answer for us. So it does worry me a bit because he was dropped by Southampton a number of times. But then again, this season he has been playing a lot for them, so he must be doing something right. But yeah, look, I've got nothing majorly against this deal. I'd much rather Forster as a third choice, but is what it is, to be honest. And I'm just happy that we're getting it done early.
Rate these keeper 1 to 3, 1 being the strongest, 3 being the weakest. Hart, Galini, Forster.
I think there's a good argument to say Galini is the best keeper, just because of what he's done in Serie A, although he hasn't shown it for Spurs. I think Forster at the moment is probably a better keeper than Joe Hart. Joe Hart can't play at Premier League level at the moment, and Forster showed he can. So I'll probably go Galini, Forster, Hart. But we are letting Galini go, so make of that what you will.
Yeah, apparently he's going to end up at Fiorentina next season. But it's funny, out of those 3 keepers, only Hart was the only one to win anything last season. Football works in mysterious ways, doesn't it?
I wouldn't read too much into that.
No, of course. But let's get into the real meaty news. Another incoming transfer, it looks like. Ivan Perisic of Inter Milan. I'll read you through the updates of how it played out yesterday. Damasio said Tottenham have offered Perisic what he wants, 2 years for 6 million. Ivan Perisic leaves Inter Milan in the next few hours. The definitive yes to Tottenham. The offer from Spurs is strong, both economically and from a sporting project point of view. Romano says Ivan Perisic is prepared to announce his final decision soon. Tottenham are ready to complete the deal. To complete the negotiation with a 2-year deal on the table. Ivan Perisic is 1 step away from joining Tottenham. And then he goes on to say Ivan Perisic has accepted an offer to join Tottenham when his Inter contract expires at the end of next month. Antonio Conte called Perisic to underline how much he wanted to work with him again. Matti Moretto says Perisic has all the contracts ready and has already made it known that he was ready to sign for Tottenham Hotspur. And Miguel Delaney says Ivan Perisic has agreed terms on a 2-year deal with Spurs, with sources close to the Croatian claiming Spurs beat Chelsea and Juventus to land him, and he is likely to make his final decision on Monday. So happy days, Ivan Perisic.
Romano's given the here we go just as we speak on Ivan Perisic.
Oh, really? Here we go for Ivan Perisic. That's 2 here we goes today.
He said, Ivan Perisic is set to join Tottenham. Here we go. Full agreement. Set to be signed on a 2-year deal. Inter has received final communication. Medical could take place next week in London once everything will be signed. Antonio Conte wanted Ivan as a priority. So looks like this one is edging ever closer. We've got the here from Romano. So, wow, what a first deal that could be. And look, a lot of people obviously have reservations about his age, him being 33 years of age. I understand that. But he did get in the Serie A team of the season last season. He was unbelievable for Inter Milan. He's a player Conte knows well. He's been a very consistent performer for many, many years, Perisic. I think he's in as good a shape as any. I think players are lasting a lot longer now as well. You see some of the best players in the world are in their mid-30s at the moment. So I wouldn't be too worried about it. It's only a short-term deal as well, 2-year deal, 75 grand a week. So in terms of outlay from Spurs' point of view, it's a no-brainer, and the way he's playing at the moment as well. So I think it's a great deal, and he's a bit of a clutch player as well in terms of I remember he scored in the Champions League semi-final at Bayern. I remember he scored in a World Cup semi-final against England. He scored in a World Cup final against France. He scored a brace in the Coppa Italia final just been for Inter Milan, a brilliant brace as well. So he seems to be a player for the big occasion and one that Conte really trusts and really wants. So I'm really excited about this potential deal, and I think again he's going to take our left wing back options to a new level.
Yeah, and he can also play a few variations, different positions as well. For Inter last season and the last couple of years, he has been deployed as well as a right wing back. Not many times, but he has, and he knows he can play there. He's very two-footed, Ivan Perisic. So, do you reckon there's still a chance that we could still land Kostic?
I do think he's predominantly played on the left. He hasn't
He
really played
has.
too much on the right, Perisic. So I would say that it makes the deal for Kostic unlikely at this point. But maybe it's a case of if we do believe that Perisic could be as good as on the right as he is on the left, then maybe there is still a possibility that we sign Perisic to play both wings. We sign another right wing back and we sign Kostic. But I find it hard to believe that we're going to do that.
So obviously 33 years old, scored 8 goals in Serie A last year, 7 assists. But funnily enough, 5 of those 8 goals all came in the last 6 games of the season. He had an absolutely barnstorming end to the season. They just about missed out on the championship, finishing second, but they did win the league the previous year, didn't they? Inter Milan. This is a signing I am excited about. Obviously, I'm a bit kind of about his age, 33 years old, so it's obviously not a long-term signing, but I think it's a signing for the here and now. And what it really tells me is that we're going Antonio Conte's way and we're backing him. And that's the main thing, and that's what we want. So I'm super happy about this signing.
Yeah, it's definitely a signing Levy wouldn't have made a cut ever, probably. We did sign once Edgar Davids when he was 32, and we signed Llorente
Long
when he was
time ago
32,
now.
but it's been a rarity. Yeah, it's not a common occurrence under Daniel Levy, so it definitely shows his willingness to back Antonio Conte and what he wants. And hopefully, look, if we're getting these two on a free, Forster and Perisic, it leaves a lot more transfer money for other positions. And so maybe that's what they're thinking about. And maybe that means we can push the boat out a little further for something like a Bastoni.
So, all right, so that's Ivan Perisic. It looks as though Fraser Forster and Ivan Perisic are both over the line now. That's 2 signings in very early. And, people calling for Spurs to get their business done early. Conte said he wanted 6 before the South Korean tour, and that's 2 already. So 4 more to go. And talking of the 4 more to go, Romano was talking this morning, and he said Bastoni and Jed Spence are also Spurs targets this summer. Obviously, we've spoken at length about both of these targets. Bannister was also talking about Bastoni, and he said that personal terms have already been agreed with Bastoni. It's just about the clubs doing the deal now.
Yeah, let's hope that's true. Obviously, we have a history of Inter Milan of negotiating and not being able to pull off the deal as of last season, but hopefully there's more willingness on both sides, and hopefully Spurs are, if they get a price like 50 million is being touted, then they don't bulk at that price that they did last season with the 45 million for Skriniar. So I think there's more hope that it can be done, especially if we're getting a left wing back on a free. You got to believe that there's going to be money there to splash out a bit on a left centre back, which is going to want to be one of those crucial roles in Conte's system for next season. One of the ones he's desperate to upgrade. So I'm fairly confident about and excited about a potential deal for Bastoni now. I think this is one that can get done, and apparently Bastoni is happy to play under Antonio Conte. They have a connection there, so I'm very excited about this. I don't know. Look, maybe personal deals are already done. I wouldn't be surprised. These things happen behind the scenes a lot of the time.
And Jed Spence, obviously, a summer target as well, which we've spoken about at length. If we can get Bastoni and Spence in, in the next week or two, window's not even open yet. You bring in Forster, Perisic, Bastoni, and Jed Spence. That's 3 of those players that impact the first team straight away, pretty much, and take that defense to the next level. Bastoni going up against Ben Davis, Jed Spence going against the right wing backs, and obviously Perisic for the left wing back. I mean, how much of a difference will that make for next season?
Yeah, it'll be massive, especially Bastoni and Perisic. I mean, Jed Spence, it's difficult to put too much pressure on him because he's come from the Championship and he's still quite young. So, do I expect him to hit the ground running? Probably not. But then again, you know, players like Kulusevski have surprised us, so you never know. I'm not saying he definitely won't, but I wouldn't want to put that pressure on him that he's going to revolutionise our straight away our wing backs. But I definitely think Bastoni and Perisic definitely have that ability to do that. And I'm very excited. I'm glad that we're getting these things done early. Obviously, Bastoni, I don't know. I wouldn't expect it to be done next week or yet, but you never know. It could. Things definitely seem to be moving very, very quickly. But I'm expecting a bit of a longer negotiation for that one. Seeing as how important he is to Inter Milan, I'm expecting a bit of a longer negotiation. But I think it's
Depends how
very good,
desperate they
and
are to get the
maybe
money in.
yeah, it depends on a lot of things, but I just wouldn't expect it, but I could be surprised. I think it's very positive that we're doing these deals as early as possible, so that Conte can get them in for the preseason. That's very, very crucial. But I guess the good thing as well is we're getting players in Perisic and Bastoni, or if we do get Bastoni, that know Conte's system and know what to expect anyway. So it's very, very positive.
Absolutely. So that is about the incomings. Let's talk about a couple of outgoings. Javi Yoquera says Giovanni Lo Celso of Villarreal are closing in on Giovanni Lo Celso. The deal will close at around 15 to 18 million euros plus bonuses. Not a lot for a player like Gio, is that?
Yeah, it's not especially consider the outlay we had, but look, maybe the bonuses are significant. You know how Levy likes to do it. You look at the Delhi deal, like it's a free transfer, but the bonuses could go up to like 40 million. I don't think it will hit that, but I'm just saying maybe that's a similar thing with Lo Celso. Maybe it goes up to like 30 million or something with bonuses. So I think, to be honest, that's the only way we're going to get these players off our books for any sort of value is maybe having bonuses or something like that, because unfortunately, we're in a position where we have to get rid of him. I think clubs know that, so we're not in a position where we could demand that higher fee.
Mm. And last but not least, it's pretty expected, this one, with obviously Ivan Perisic coming in, and we've brought you this news already before, but The Athletic said in their article today that Reguilon is expected to be sold this summer. Look, which is a shame in one way, but I kind of expected it in the other way, and I think Ivan Perisic will just suit us so much more than him.
Definitely, it definitely takes. Like, imagine Perisic in those positions that Reguilon kept finding himself in. They're probably goals like 9 times out of 10 with someone like Perisic there. So definitely, it's probably best for everyone. I think if we're choosing between Sessegnon and Reguilon for the future, as much as I think Reguilon potentially is a better player right now, I think Sessegnon's more suited to the system. He's younger, he's English as well, and he's been improving a lot more in his performances than Reguilon has. And I think Reguilon, you can probably get decent money for him right now. So it makes sense for everyone. As much as it is a bit sad that because I think he came with great intentions to be a fan favorite, and I think he's got a great attitude about him, and I think he's great for the dressing room and stuff like that. And I think he's a good player, but it just hasn't worked out. I just think he's right player, wrong time, probably. I think for Reguilon.
Yeah,
I think if he came under like say,
I think he
Pochettino
would
or
have worked
something,
really well under Poch.
yeah, I agree with that. I think he could have been. Imagine we signed him when Rose was getting worse instead of I can't remember who we signed anyone at left back in the end. I can't even. We had Davis there for a
We had
long
Ben
time, but
Davis there for a bit, and yeah.
that's it. So imagine when if we had Reguilon then, I think he would have been much better. But I think just under this system under Conte, I don't think it's most suited to him. So I don't think he's terrible there. I just don't think he's perfect for it. So I think it's probably best just to do what we need to do.
Yeah, agreed. So that is the update for today. Things are moving. We're not even in the transfer window yet, and we've got 2 here we goes already from Fabrizio Romano, and we've also got talks ongoing apparently for Bastoni and Jed Spence as well. So keep your eyes on that. We'll be bringing you some content with Southampton fans and hopefully an Inter Milan fan to tell you more about Ivan Perisic and more about Fraser Forster. But that is your update today. Some more content coming out today as well in terms of targets that we can target in other areas of the pitch. But thank you everyone for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.